Iris Tarot. I am here with your mid-month update for the month of August 2018. Just some things I want to go ahead and get out of the way before we get started. I'm filming this in the middle of a thunderstorm, so if you happen to hear any loud booms or see flashes of light, that's probably what it is. Also, I know that there are some people who like to see the readers shuffle and deal out the cards, but the way I have my camera set up, it's in like a really flimsy kind of situation, and if I were to shuffle on this table, it would shake the entire camera. Also, I do know that there is a glare on the table, and it's probably not the most aesthetically pleasing thing to look at, but you know, I can't really do anything about that for you guys right now. I do also want to go ahead and say that before we get into this, I do hope that these messages resonate with some of you guys. If not, always make sure to check out your moon sign and your rising sign videos. I have also posted the monthly videos for August covering the entire month, and those are up for all of the signs, and I'm just kind of working my way slowly through the signs for your mid-month update. So with that all being said, let's go ahead and get started on your reading. I actually kind of like the energy for your reading for the rest of the month. I think there might be two camps of people primarily that I'm going to be reading for, and it's all going to be dependent on how you kind of embody the energy of these reversed cards. I do read this reading kind of like a Lenormand 5-card spread, if you guys are familiar with that style of reading. I want to start off with your central card right here, which is the Ten of Swords in reverse. I normally see this as a really positive card. In the upright, you know, you do have this really painful ending, the swords coming down and stabbing the guy in the back. But the positive is that there's this little bit of sunlight creeping out over these hills. So whatever has ended, you know, it's done, it's over with. There's no going back, and there's nothing that can be done. And it's kind of like painfully ripping off a Band-Aid. Once it's done, you can work on moving away from that situation, even though there obviously was that painful ending. In the reverse, a lot of you guys, I think, are going to be recovering from that kind of situation. When you look at the reversal, the swords fall out of the guy's back. You know, it just makes it easier for this person to get up off the ground, heal, and move on. So I really do like this energy for those of you who may have been going through something, I don't want to say traumatic, but something that was obviously weighing on you guys, causing you a great deal of anxiety, grief, heartbreak, insert negative emotion here. A lot of you guys are going to be getting over that, or at least starting to get over that by the end of this month, which is really positive. What I was saying about the reversals is that sometimes this energy is blocked. So when it comes up in the reverse, for some people, it may mean that you are unnecessarily clinging on to a situation that you know needs to come to an end. And in that kind of situation, when you look at the card, you know, it almost looks like he's clinging onto the ground for dear life, trying to prevent himself from falling back on these 10 swords that are levitating precariously over his back. So if there are those of you who are out there, and you're going to know if this applies to you because it is a 10 card, so whatever this situation is that's been causing you all sorts of strife, it's been ongoing for a long time. This isn't something that just happened out of the blue. So if you know that you're clinging on to something that isn't good for you, that's way too painful, and you know, really isn't worth your time, energy, tears, whatever anymore, then I think that the goal for you guys this month, or for the rest of the month, I should say, is going to be ripping off that Band-Aid and calling it quits. Again, you guys are going to probably know which of the two you fall into. Either you've been through this or you haven't yet been through this. And if this doesn't apply to you at all, then this reading's probably not for you. So we do have the Page of Swords here in reverse. This could be a person. I don't normally see the pages as people, but some people do, so I just throw the signs out there anyway. They would more likely be an air sign, male or female, sun, moon, or rising, and the air signs for your reference are Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. In the reverse, this person, because they're a page, they tend to be immature, but they can also be really bratty, almost like a bully. They may say things just to lash out and hurt people. They may not think before they speak. They could potentially be an Aquarius, just because we do have the star card here. And there seem to be a lot of swords for you guys. So, if this is a person, it's probably going to be an air sign. Maybe this is somebody that you've been dealing with for a while now. And every time you deal with them, because when I clarify the Page of Swords via the mirroring method, it comes over here to the Four of Swords. They would just be somebody who exhausts you, who, like, every time you talk to them, you then have to go off and take, kind of a mental breather, just because their energy is so, I don't want to say toxic, but, kind of like that. They're just a negative person, especially in terms of conversation. If this isn't a person, then it could be that you have been waiting on some documents, you've been trying to wrap something up. Maybe you've been trying to take care of some things legally. Sometimes the Four of Swords card can represent somebody who's on their deathbed, and with the Ten of Swords here and the Three of Swords for your overall energy. Maybe some of you guys have experienced the loss of a loved one and have been trying to wrap things up on a legal front with that, in terms of settling their estate or whatever that situation may be. But it could be anything, if you're trying to sell your home, maybe you can't sell your home until certain legalities are taken care of, just insert whatever situation may apply for you guys there. This card can also be some sort of communication. So if the communication isn't delayed or blocked in some way, especially if we're actually talking about like an actual physical block on a website, maybe somebody blocked you on Facebook or whatever. If that's not the case, then there could just be some delays in communication, or there could be some contentious communication, maybe some arguments, because we do have the Seven of Wands right next to this card. So maybe some of you guys have been having to really stand your ground and defend yourselves from people. And there's just some wars of words going on with people around you in your life. And, again, this could even be your own energy. Maybe some of you guys aren't really thinking logically. Maybe you're not clear-headed about something. Maybe you need to be decisive and you're having a hard time doing so. You would rather just sit out and take a break and maybe not have to confront something. So, that's going to resonate differently with different people. But I do think that, for a while now, you guys have really been standing your ground and trying to fight for something, stand up for something that you strongly believe in, or that you strongly want. And that's always a commendable thing. However, when I do clarify this over here with the star in reverse, it could be that some of you guys are trying to fight for something that isn't necessarily attainable for you. And you're probably going to know this deep down inside. Again, like I said, there's some of you guys who know you need to end something and just haven't done it. So if that does apply to you, you're probably going to have that little inkling like, well, maybe I'm fighting for something that's ultimately not going to be worth fighting for anyway. Others of you are just going to be standing your ground and continuing to, push on to, push yourselves closer to this star energy and flip the star from the reverse position into the upright, like getting all of your hopes and dreams and wishes fulfilled. You just have to hang in there. You're at the 7, so you're almost at the 10, you're almost at the end of the cycle. So there's a potential for some of you guys to ultimately get what you want with the star being here. There's just this element of whatever your situation may be. If there's something that you have been fighting for, that you've been hoping for or wishing for, first of all, making sure that if it is something attainable, that you are putting in the work, that you are making the decisions you need to make, that you're doing everything you need to do in order to push yourselves closer to that goal. For those of you for whom something may not be attainable, there's just a need to be realistic with yourselves. And like I said, you guys are going to know if that applies to you. I do also think that for those of you guys who have kind of already been through all of this energy, with the Three of Swords in reverse here, at some time it was probably in the upright, same thing for the Ten of Swords in reverse, like you guys have already been through this. The remainder of this month is going to be a lot about healing. The Star card, even in the reverse, with all that blue energy there's all of this healing energy, and I think there's healing that needs to take place for a lot of you guys. Like I said too, with the Ten of Swords in reverse, there's this element of recovering from some sort of painful ending. With the Three of Swords in reverse, there's again recovery from heartbreak, something that was negative, caused you a lot of grief. This could also even be a physical surgery, so maybe some of you guys are recovering from surgery and need to take some time out to heal. Because we do end the spread here with the Four of Swords, which is all about taking time out and stepping away from something, really meditating, thinking, having some introspection, and just kind of taking some me time. So for those of you guys who have already kind of been through this rough patch, this month is really, the cards are kind of asking you to focus on yourself, because you've been through a lot and there's this need to recover from whatever this situation was before you are able to move on into something new. I do have a Lenormand card here to kind of give a little bit more information about what this could be pertaining to. And you guys got the birds. They're depicted differently in a lot of different decks, and so they can kind of take on different meanings depending on the actual visual image. And because there are two birds here and two people here, a lot of you guys, this might be related to relationships, marriages, partnerships, maybe in the workplace or something where there was some sort of joint venture or, some sort of two-party connection, more likely than not. And again, for some of you, there's definitely going to be a need to end this situation if it is causing you a lot of stress and grief and just isn't really worth it. For others of you for whom this may have already ended, like I said, it's all about recovery. The birds can also represent communications. So maybe, this Page of Swords here, maybe there's some social media communication going on, some communication that you guys have been waiting for. Maybe it's a little bit delayed, like I said, or it's not necessarily negative communication, but it may be a little bit contentious, or maybe some conflicts or quarreling, that sort of dynamic. The birds can also represent a lot of hustle and bustle. So for those of you especially who may be in like a really demanding work situation, some sort of corporate situation, you may just be really busy, you may have a lot going on, and there's going to be this need for you guys to take some time out and really have a break and give yourselves some time to recuperate from what all has been going on. So maybe some of you guys need to take a vacation before the summer is up, go somewhere for like a weekend trip and just take some time to relax and recharge and distance yourself from all of this stress and anxiety and, just being surrounded by a lot of people all the time. Some of you guys, if you're not in that kind of high stress or high intensity situation, like at work or at home, maybe you guys are just feeling that internally. Like there's, I know they're birds, but like that constant anxiety, like the butterflies in your stomach, this notion that you're always anxious about something. Like there's always something going on, something that needs to be done. And, again, like I told the other people, you may need to just take some time out for yourselves. So overall, the energy for you guys this month isn't bad. It's just going to kind of depend on which one of those two groups you fall into. You know, are you somebody who knows you need to end something and you're just kind of delaying the inevitable, not willing to see a situation clearly? Or have you guys already been through the ringer and that rough patch, and now you guys are coming out on the other side and you're going to be able to focus more on healing and yourselves? So that's just going to depend on where you guys are at. You know, if none of this resonated with you guys, and this isn't the reading for you, so do make sure to check out your monthlies, because there may be some more relevant information there for you guys. But I do hope that this resonated for at least some of you guys. I do think it's a really positive step forward. So, you know, if you liked the video, I would definitely appreciate a thumbs up, you know, sharing the video, subscribing to the channel. I'm going to try to work on coming up with some more video ideas for you guys, but I definitely want to, you know, hear some feedback from y'all and see that the videos are getting traction, so that I know that there's a demand for some of the things I want to do, like maybe doing weekly videos and possibly videos specifically focusing on love and relationships. So, you know, if this resonated with you guys, leave me a comment. If you have any questions, suggestions, whatever, leave those down below. I would definitely love to hear from you all. And I appreciate you guys watching this video immensely. It means the world to me. Thank you guys so much for all of you guys who have already watched the other videos that I've posted, who have subscribed, left some positive words of encouragement. It means the world. And with that all being said, I will see you guys toward the end of this month with your readings for the next month of September.